Walk into Costco right now and you'll see something that would have been impossible 5 years ago. A 55-inch 4K smart TV for $279. A 65-inch for under $400. A 75-inch for $599. And these aren't weird off-brands you've never heard of. These are TCL, Hisense, even Samsung's budget lines. You're probably thinking, finally, TV prices are getting reasonable. But here's what nobody's telling you. Those prices aren't low because manufacturing got cheaper or because technology improved. They're low because you're not the customer anymore. You're the product. The TV sitting on your wall right now is watching you more than you're watching it. And the cheaper that TV was, the more aggressively it's collecting data about everything you do. So we're talking about a fundamental shift in how TVs are sold. One that's going to cost you a lot more than the money you saved at checkout. Let me show you what's really happening. The new business model, lose money on hardware, make it back on you. Here's the thing nobody puts on the price tag. According to industry analyst Paul Gray speaking at a television symposium in late 2024, major TV manufacturers like Roku and Vizio are now selling televisions at -3% to -7% profit margins. That's not a typo. They're losing money every single time someone buys a TV. Roku reported losing $53.5 million in gross profit on TV sales in 2024, but their platform business, which is really just code for advertising and data collection, had a 54% profit margin. Vizio's even more blunt about it. In their SEC filings before Walmart bought them, they literally stated, "We believe that Platform Plus will be the key driver of our future margin growth and financial performance." Translation? The TV is just bait. The real money comes after you take it home. And get this, Vizio's profit margin on their platform business was 64% in 2020. Compare that to the 2.6% margin Roku made on actual streaming hardware. You can see exactly where the money is, and it's not in selling you the device. So when you see that 65-inch TV for $499 at Walmart, understand what's actually happening. You're not getting a great deal. You're signing up for a surveillance system that happens to play Netflix. What they're actually collecting. Let me break down what automated content recognition does, because this is where it gets creepy. Every major TV brand, Samsung, LG, Sony, Hisense, TCL, has this technology built in at the chipset level. It takes a snapshot of your screen every few seconds and sends it to the manufacturer's servers. When not just what you're streaming on Netflix, everything. Your cable box, your security camera feed when you check who's at the door, your laptop screen when you're casting a presentation, even your gaming console while you're playing. The TV doesn't care what's showing. It's watching the glass. In December 2025, Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton filed lawsuits against Samsung, Sony, LG, TCL, and Hisense. The complaint laid it out clearly. These companies are collecting viewing data in real time and selling it to data brokers without proper consent. Texas got temporary restraining orders against Samsung and Hisense to stop certain data collection practices. Paxton called ACR technology an uninvited, invisible digital invader. He's not exaggerating. Researchers from Princeton and the University of Chicago analyzed smart TV network traffic and found something disturbing. Many apps were sending your TV's advertising ID, the unique identifier that tracks you, right alongside permanent identifiers like your TV's serial number. That means even when you reset your advertising ID to opt out of personalized ads, the system can just match your old ID to your new one using the serial number. Your opt-out button does nothing. One owner on Reddit described what happened when they declined the data collection agreements on their new LG TV. Lost access to voice control even though I'd accepted that agreement separately. Basically, the TV held features hostage unless I agreed to let them track what I watch. How deep the rabbit hole goes. Here's where it gets worse. These companies aren't just collecting data for themselves. They're building entire advertising ecosystems. Samsung's ad platform can track not only who saw which ads, but who missed them. Then they offer something called TV ad retargeting. Watch a car commercial on your TV, and within 60 seconds, you'll start seeing that same ad on your phone, tablet, and laptop. Samba TV, one of the biggest ACR technology providers, openly advertises that they have millions of households in their scaled panel. They track ads directly from top linear networks and OTT providers to know exactly when and where ads aired. Then they sell that information to advertisers so they can target you better. LG partners with a company called Alfonso to monetize their ACR data, or they're not shy about it. They specifically promote highly targeted campaigns using your viewing behavior, and they license WebOS to other brands like RCA and Konka, spreading the data collection even wider. Amazon's approach with Fire TV is maybe the most honest about it. They subsidize TV adoption by paying manufacturers about $10 per unit to pre-install Fire OS. Why? Because every Fire TV becomes another entry point into Amazon's massive advertising and commerce ecosystem. The TV might be cheap, but Amazon's betting they'll make it back when you're shopping on Prime. According to industry reports, connected TV advertising now subsidizes hardware prices industry-wide. That's not a side business. That's the business. The TV is just the delivery mechanism. The price, you actually pay. So let's talk about what this means for you beyond the privacy nightmare. First, the software gets worse over time, not better. Budget TVs are notoriously sluggish after a year or two because the cheap processors can't keep up with increasingly bloated operating systems that are really just advertising platforms. One owner of a Sony Bravia complained on Consumer Affairs. "I cannot believe how slow my Sony is. My JVC and Philips that cost a lot less money. Put this Sony to shame." Second, the ads you can't avoid. Samsung TV owners consistently complain about the interface being full of ads and cumbersome to use. One reviewer in December 2025 said, "I've stopped using it and have gone back to watching YouTube on my laptop. Do not buy a Samsung TV." Think about that. They bought a $1,000 plus TV and found the software so intrusive they'd rather watch on a laptop screen. Third, the reliability concerns. When a company makes their real money from data and ads, they have less incentive to build TVs that last a decade. Consumer Reports testing found that budget TVs consistently underperform their advertised specs. Features like HDR and 4K upscaling often don't work as advertised, and they use lower-cost components that lead to faster brightness loss and picture degradation. A Hisense owner who bought a 100-inch TV on Black Friday wrote, "Picture went to vertical lines of different colors after almost 2 weeks. Only sound, no picture. I am so disappointed with Hisense brand. Yes, my son got a good deal on Black Friday." That's the thing about deals. They're only deals if the product works. Fourth, unwarranty issues become nightmares. Multiple Samsung owners in late 2025 reported the same pattern. TV fails under warranty, Samsung sends repair techs multiple times for the same issue, then refuses to replace the unit. One owner is still making monthly payments through Citibank for a 77-inch Samsung that never worked correctly. Samsung gave contradictory explanations, first saying clearance items don't qualify for exchange, then claiming the TV was out of warranty even though issues started while covered. The mid-range squeeze. Here's what's really changed in 2026. It's not that all cheap TVS are terrible. TCL's QM6K gets solid reviews and sells for around $550 for a 65-inch mini LED set. The problem is that the mid-range has basically disappeared. You've got ultra-budget sets under $300 that are basically advertising platforms with screens attached. Then, you've got premium OLEDs and mini LEDs from Samsung and LG starting around $1,700 for a 65-inch. That middle ground, where you could get a reliable TV with decent specs for $800 to $1,200, that's evaporating. Because if you're going to use advertising and data as your profit center, why bother with mid-range hardware margins? Either sell the cheapest TV possible and maximize your user base for advertising, or sell premium hardware to people who'll pay more for quality and worry less about the data collection. The market's polarizing. And if you're in that middle range, wanting something better than the cheapest option but can't afford premium, you're stuck. What about the good brands? You might be thinking, okay, but Samsung and LG are premium brands. They're not doing this as aggressively, right? Wrong. Samsung's now pushing AI features and ecosystem lock-in across their 2026 lineup. They offer 7-year software update promises, which sounds great until you realize they're just guaranteeing 7 years of data collection. LG extends WebOS and its ThinQ services to other appliances, building a whole ecosystem that tracks you across devices. Even Sony, which Consumer Reports users traditionally rank as highly reliable, has moved to these data models, and their customer service has gotten noticeably worse as they shift focus to platform revenue. One longtime Sony customer wrote in November 2025, "Sony has long been my go-to brand. That changed with my 2020 purchase. Screen developed blotchy areas, because Sony blamed foreign particles through ventilation, never sent a tech to actually look at it. The lawsuits against all 5 major manufacturers in Texas weren't accidents. This is industry-wide, the 2026 trap." Here's where timing matters. Industry analysts are predicting TV prices might actually increase in 2026 due to a RAM shortage affecting manufacturing costs. Tom's Guide reported that Samsung's own executives confirmed memory price spikes will trickle down to everything from phones to laptops to TVs. So you've got this weird moment. Budget TVS from 2024 and 2025 are getting heavily discounted as retailers clear inventory. Some 65-inch models are hitting $400 to $500 right now, and it's tempting to jump on those deals before 2026 prices go up. But those old models have the same data collection problems, and they're being discounted partly because manufacturers know the real money comes from your data over the next 5 years, not from the hardware margin. Meanwhile, if you wait for 2026 models, you're paying more for TVS with even more sophisticated tracking. The new models feature more powerful processors, not primarily for better picture quality, but to run AI-driven personalization and advertising systems. That's what they mean when they say AI features. It's a lose-lose unless you know what you're looking for. What actually matters? So here's what you need to understand before you buy anything. First, that $299 TV isn't really $299. Factor in the value of your data, the ads you can't skip, the slower performance after a year, and the higher chance of warranty issues. Consumer Reports found that cheaper brands like Insignia consistently fail right after warranty periods end, and that timing isn't coincidental. Second, disable every data collection setting you can find. On Roku TVs, go to Settings greater than Privacy and turn off Smart TV Experience, personalized ads, and device usage data. On Samsung, it's in Settings greater than Privacy and Terms. Disable viewing information services and interest-based advertisements. On LG, look for user agreements and opt out of everything except what's required for basic functionality. On Fire TV, disable device usage data, app usage collection, and the new Manage Sharing from Apps feature. Yes, you'll lose some smart features. That's the point. Those features exist to collect data. Third, consider external streaming devices. A Roku stick or Apple TV gives you control over one interface instead of whatever data-hungry system the TV manufacturer built in. It costs extra upfront, but gives you more control long-term. And when the TV's smart features get slow and ad-filled, you've got an alternative. Fourth, look at the actual replacement cycle data. Ultra-large TVs over 75 inches are the fastest growing segment because people are upgrading faster now. But according to Circana research, people are replacing TVs not because they want to, but because they broke or became obsolete. The replacement cycle is shortening. That cheap TV is designed to not last as long. Fifth, if you're spending under $500, expect compromises. Just make sure you know which compromises you're actually making. That 55-inch TCL Roku Select for $280 has decent reviews, but it's collecting data and serving ads through the Roku platform. That's the trade. At least Roku's more transparent about it than most. And finally, the most reliable brands according to Consumer Reports are still Samsung and Sony. But their reliability ratings have declined as they've shifted to platform revenue models. TCL and Hisense offer better value specs, but lower reliability. That's not a coincidence. Lower hardware margins mean cutting corners on components. Bottom line, the cheap era isn't about being generous to customers. It's about redefining what the product actually is. You're not buying a TV anymore. You're buying access to a screen while agreeing to surveillance you didn't fully understand. And here's the real kicker. This model is so profitable that there's no going back. Even if you wanted to buy a dumb TV that just displays what you plug into it, they basically don't make them anymore over 32 inches. The market's decided. The money's in your data and the ads they can serve you, not in the hardware. So, when you see those prices that seem too good to be true this year, understand what's happening. The TV industry entered a new era, and most buyers haven't noticed yet because they're too focused on the price tag. But now you know, and you can't unknow it. What's your TV watching about you? Drop a comment below. And if you want honest TV reviews before dropping $1,000 on something that's designed to sell you out, hit subscribe.